Hello and welcome to a Soul in the Multiverse and a explanation video on what exactly is the emotion code. So emotions, some people view them as energy emotion. Well, we are just a beautiful tangle of vibrations, so in a way that does kind of make sense. So Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is the founder of the emotional code, has noted that when emotions, energy emotion, becomes blocked, this can cause an overwhelming amount of issues for us. So Dr. Bradley Nelson, he has written a book which I will add a link to this page, and he has also got a program on Gaia, which is where I found it, and it was called E-Motion. I literally asked the universe for my next step. That was the program I watched, and I sat up all night and I did my first clearing. So you could have physical issues within your body, and did you know that each pain or ailment you could have could be indicative of a blocked emotion? And there are many books, programs and internet pages which are full of emotional blockages dependent upon your body issue or ailment. So you could go and have a little look at these books and have a little search and see what your ailment is, see if that emotional blockage resonates with you, and if it does, release it, which I'll talk about in a moment. However, more importantly, emotionally and spiritually, and for the whole course of your life, it would be better to unblock an emotion. And the reason for this is, you know those times in life when things seem to be going really well, and you feel on top of the world, and then something comes along and knocks you out of your beautiful vibrational reality, and suddenly you are responding in a way that you remember, but it's a very distant memory of yourself. Now, the reason for this could be that when a blocked emotion is triggered, you will respond at the emotional age that it was blocked, not your current age. Interesting. I'll repeat that. Blocked emotions, when triggered, means you will respond at the age it was triggered, not the age you currently are. So for example, just imagine abandonment, because it's at the top of the list. Just imagine you've got an abandonment mood that goes to your teenage years, and you're now in your 30s, 40s, but every time that you have that wound triggered because you haven't healed it, haven't released the blockage, you will respond as your teenage self. Makes sense, doesn't it? So it gets to the point when you do go through this process that you do start wondering why this sort of knowledge was kept secret from us. Just imagine how our lives would have panned out knowing this, how many better decisions we'd have made, how many less hurt feelings we would have had or caused to others. So how do we actually find out whether we've got a blocked emotion or not? So we have a wonderful tool which is called kinesiology, or some people simply refer to it as body testing, and it's a long known method. I've known about it since my early 20s, but it was shown to me in such a clunky way. I wish I'd dug a little bit further. So we've got an amazing set of muscles in our body, and our body can actually know truth from false more than our overcrowded or clouded mind maybe. So there are a set of muscles within our body that can be used to tell truth from false. So if you look on my other page, either the do it yourself one or book a session with me, I will teach you or show you how to do that. So then what's next? So you will go through that list that's been provided by Bradley Nelson. You will check to see whether or not you have any of those blocked emotions. And then what you will do is you will then release them, which is another tool that we haven't been shown. So again, that will be shown on the next page. But this is the harder part. So once you've got your list of emotions, you're going to have to sit within that particular emotion. Close your eyes, sit within it. Go through that video imagery that goes through your mind of the events that you are trying so hard to forget, and you've just got to sit with it for as long as you possibly can, and then use the release tool and just keep releasing all those blocked emotions. And the great thing about this is, your subconscious and your conscious brain and reality really work well together to ensure that your healing only occurs at the most comfortable and meaningful rate for yourself. So you might find that, I thought that would be a bit deeper, and it will probably come up will be uncovered in later sessions. So we hope that this introduction has got you hooked and you're intrigued and you're interested and you're resonating with it. Now, the great thing for me personally is I think I've done about 500 one-on-one healings for this, and the reports back I've had have been overwhelming. Some have had physical relief upon their body, some have had the most amazing night's sleep, some have just felt the clearest and the most real that they felt in a long time. Others have done things that they have never done for fear for 4 or 5 years, and they've just thought, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I standing in my own way? And they've just stood up and they've started living their life. For me, it meant that I wasn't so emotionally bothered by others, and it's got me to the point where I am no longer standing in my own way. I really would like to advocate this for everyone. This is why there is a do-it-yourself section, so you can use the videos and you can learn this yourself. I learnt this through the exact same method, and if that's how it suits you, I have that set up for you. I'm not going to con you into coming to use me as a therapist. If you want to use me because you find that it's easier to use somebody and have that directed time and have that kind of walk through of it, then I'm here for you. And there will be a charge just to cover my time, really, because if not, there's so many tools and videos about which I've made personally and I will be making, which means that you can do what you need to do. And the one thing that you will always find, whether you're speaking to me or talking to me in any sense, the one thing that I always will say is you are the one that you are waiting for. You need to be your own best friend. You are the longest relationship that you are ever going to have in your life. You need to love yourself, believe in yourself. You are amazing. So shall we get into learning about these tools? So it's body testing, or kinesiology as it's more scientifically known. It is something that I actually became aware of in my early 20s, but it was during a shamanic weekend, and the shamanic practitioner and his helper were using my body to test, and it was quite clunky. And the thing about spiritual journeys is you're generally by yourself when these things are happening. So I kind of in a way regret not looking into this a little teeny bit further, but I think it also came to me at the exact right time that I needed it. So the first tool we're going to look at is finger locking. I call it the finger locking way. So if we were to take your thumb and your finger and put them together, and then take the other one and interlink them so that you've got a figure 8. Now, as you can see, you should do it so that it can't break. Okay, this is before we test it. So now we're going to just start truth, false. You try it. Amazing, isn't it? Right, let's go a little one step further, shall we? My name is Hayley. My name is Alfie. Now you try it. Again, amazing tool, isn't it? It is. I kind of really wish I was sat there watching you, because my favourite thing of all of this is seeing the light go on in people's eyes when they realise they have this capability within them. So that is tool 1. If for any reason that you're finding any issue with it, I would suggest just truth, false. Just keep doing it, just so your body gets done. If not, I would suggest having a look at my tool 1, are you having any issues, the sweetness scandal, and also maybe just take a little bit of time and space to relax. So the next tool, so there's a saying, the truth is quite literally at your fingertips. Funny how some of these old sayings ring really, really true. So I'm going to rub the tip of my finger and the thumb and finger together. And as you can see, it's moving quite nicely. So my name's Hayley, still moving. My name is Michelle. Oh, and it has stopped. Okay, so we'll do it again. Truth, false, and it stopped again. Now you have a little go and see if that one works for you.
So the third and final one we're going to look at is, again, it's another saying. Some of these sayings are really here to teach you about life. So a lie is really hard to swallow. So my name is Hayley. Swallowed absolutely fine. My name is Katie. That felt like there was a lump in my throat. So I want to say well done to you if you can do all or any of these. This is amazing. You have now got the ability to be able to test true from false. So what you now need to do is go to the next video or continue watching and go and have a little look at the emotion code and start testing. Do you have any blocked emotions? And let's get them released for you. Good luck, everyone.
Hello and welcome to A Soul in the Multiverse, and this video is for those of you that may be having problems connecting with the ability to be able to use the truth and false body testing. The first thing that I would like you to look at is your sweetener intake. It is in everything nowadays. I've noticed it's turned up in Chupa Chups, it's in most of the yogurts that are on the shelves, it is in 99% of the fruit squashes that are available for yourself and your children, and it is even turning up in some of the fruit juices. And to be quite honest with you, you really need to be careful and check labels. The only reason I can state that is because I am an avid sweetener avoider and have been for 20 years. It actually causes real problems in the body. My child doesn't have it. He's literally bouncing off the walls and has a stomachache and headache 6 to 8 hours later. And when I mean bouncing off the walls, he is unable to listen, and it's not him, it is the unnatural and low vibration of the sweetener that is causing these reactions. But the worst thing of all is it actually damages the muscles in your body, which are the muscles that are able to decipher truth from false. So this has actually been proven by Dr. David Hawkins. He did a book called Power versus Force. He's the only scientist that actually spent his whole entire career trying to quantify human emotions to a vibration, and he's done it. And you may have even seen his vibrational chart. Absolutely amazing soul. He's done several books, including How to Transcend Up the Consciousness Ladder. A must read for all of you if you feel that resonates with you at all. So the sweeteners actually ruin your muscle receptors. So if you find that you have got sweeteners in your drinks, so like fizzy pop, Coca-Cola is probably one of the only ones on the full-fat Coca-Cola version is probably the only one that doesn't have sweeteners in. Everything else does. Tango, Fanta, Lilt, Dr. Pepper, and obviously all other brands. I am not advertising or misadvertising any. I would suggest that you check the labels for yourself. So due to this, I would suggest if you do find that you do have sweeteners in your diet, try removing them for the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe more, and coming back and trying it again. If you feel that you have limited sweeteners in your diet, or it's not that, then maybe you just need a little bit of time. Go and get yourself in your nice space. Go and get yourself all chilled out. Go and have that bath. Go and have that walk. Go and have that meditation. Go and watch that TV program or listen to that music or go and paint that painting. Whatever it is that gets you into your vibration, into your good place. Whether it's you also have crystals or you smudge, so you could smudge your space, you could get your crystals out. A lot of people find that the clearer crystals are better when you're working with the first tool, just to be able to clear and cleanse the energy. And one crystal I love to use is selenite. It is the only crystal that doesn't need to be recharged. It emits its own vibration. In fact, you can put your other crystals on top of selenite to be able to charge it. So have some selenite around you. Get the vibrational energy around you, sage and get rid of any bad energies. Cleanse yourself through the bathing ritual, whatever it is that feels that it's calling to you to get you to your safe space. What might work for me might not work for you, but we all know what gets us working in those ways if you really take a little bit of time and think about it. Or if not, maybe this is the perfect opportunity for you to take some time to find what gets you into a relaxed state of mind, what gets you into a receptive, open way of being. Find what you like. One of the greatest things I'll always say to you is, you are the one that you are waiting for. And you also need to be your own best friend, for you are going to be the longest relationship that you have with yourself. So I hope that this helps someone, and obviously do know that I am here to assist if not. So I hope that this message finds you wonderfully well. All is beautiful in your world, and it keeps getting better and better. Thank you. Before we move on, if anyone did have any problems with any of those 3 different techniques, then what I could suggest is you go and have a little look at the sweetener scandal video, which is a little further down, and it might explain to you why you're having some issues. If you know that you don't really have sweeteners in your diet and that's not causing the problem, it could just be that those techniques that I've just shown you aren't suitable for you. So there was a really lovely friend of mine, and I worked with her on the emotion code, and she wasn't able to test in any of the ways that I was able to test. So we ended up just Googling, obviously there are other search engines available, for different kinesiology testing techniques, and she actually found one that resonated with her. And I'll be honest, I couldn't do it. I even wondered if it was like a left hand, right hand thing. So I just want to let you know that there are plenty of different ways to do it if these 3 don't work for you, and you also find that you do not have sweeteners. You will be able to find a way to be able to test your muscles. I do know somebody who uses, there's a way that you can center yourself, and you center your energy, and you are just stood up perfectly straight. And you can use this in a supermarket as well, wherein you can hold a food in front of you and ask your body whether or not it's good for you or something that you need at this precise moment in time, because obviously your body needs nutrients and vitamins all at different times. So you can hold this fruit or food or item in front of you, ask your question, and if your body moves towards it, it means yes, and if it moves away, it means no. So there's just so many amazing techniques that you can use with your body to be able to move forward. So now we have the body testing or kinesiology tools down. Let's go and have a look at the emotion code chart, which I have placed on this slide for you. So what we're going to use is your newfound tool to be able to find out whether or not you have a blocked emotion. So did you know that your brain is much more like a computer than you give it credit for? And it's had one look at this chart, and it has downloaded it into its memory. So you can literally start asking using your newfound tool, do I have a blocked emotion in A1? If you do have a positive lock or a positive response, then what you will need to do is go through each of the emotions in that box. So I think it starts with abandonment, then you'll go through and check each of the 5 emotions that are in that box. Then you will go through to A2, do the exact same, A3, A4, A5, A6, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6. Or the other way to do it is to just go through each emotion one by one. Do whatever feels that is calling out to you, whatever resonates most with your journey. Now you might notice on this emotion code that there are body parts that are noted down the side of the chart, and it is the belief of many that the emotions actually block within a certain part of your body. So you will notice that a lot of these are torso based. So a lot of the problems I had, I didn't note. So I personally didn't notice a physical relief, but there were many of the people that I assisted with this healing that did come back and said that they had a physical relief. I mean, I was much more interested in the mental, the clarity of thinking and the spiritual advantages that were gained from it. But there were many that reported a body, a difference in their body, a freedom in their body. Some people even reported their chest feeling lighter, that they could breathe better, and a niggling pain that had been there for a long time had gone. In fact, that information overawed me so much that I actually ended up taking and getting the Secret Language of Your Body book, and that's where I found all the ailments that weren't covered body-wise, and I worked at it from a different angle. I looked at the body issues I was having to work out my emotional issues, and then releasing the emotional issues. I mean, some things like my skeletal issue did need a little bit of physio help, but once I'd released the emotions, I felt like I was able to go, and I got the physio sorted, and the physio appointment happened, and I was fixed. So I would recommend really looking and listening to your body niggles, and maybe having a look at that book. Obviously, I think I've mentioned it in another video. Search engines are really good for spiritual or emotional meaning to this body thing. So I hope that this message finds you all well, and I think now is your time for you to go through and note all of your blocked emotions. As a little side note before we finish, if you feel this is your first ever emotion code attempt and you have quite a full chart, if it makes anyone feel any better, my first one was really quite full. I think it's because you've had this whole life and all these things pop up for you, but you haven't had the tool, or you didn't realise that you had to name the emotion, you didn't realise you had to sit with the emotion, and you didn't realise you had to release it. Or if people had said it to you, they hadn't given it to you in a way that was so practical that you felt it, and then the next day you're like, wow, is this how life is supposed to be? Is this how my brain is supposed to be? Is this how quiet? Is this how everybody else lives life? So I would love for each and every one of you now to go through your list, and then we will move on to tool 2, how to release these blocked emotions. Okay, are we ready for the all-important tool 2, the release? Okay, so if we had a credit card, imagine I got a credit card, not sharing my details, but just imagine you had a credit card, okay, and you got a magnet. If you got a magnet and swiped it across your credit card, you would remove all the information. You might have noticed it happen with your parking tickets sometimes, but that little magnetic strip can be easily cleared. And isn't it interesting to note that we have our own credit card stripe? And it makes sense. It's your main meridian, the one that runs from your third eye chakra over the top of your head, over your crown chakra to the back. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that first emotion. I will take abandonment because it's at the top of the list, and because it's at the top of the list. So I want you to take your first emotion. I want you to do a little bit of hard work. I do apologise, but it will be much easier after this, and thank you for your patience with this. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to look at that. Imagine that first emotion. Does it intuitively go into your head as to why that emotion is there? If it does, brilliant. You know what it is. You've used your intuition. That's your intuition. It's telling you. It's that little video going through your mind. It will be easier to view next time. Okay. So go into your mind with that emotion
the images, with the thoughts and feelings that are coming up. And I want you to sit with it for as long as possible. Okay? I want you to view it as much as you possibly can. And I want you, when you are ready, to say goodbye to it in your head. And then what you do is you use a magnet, like we use for the credit card, or you could use a crystal. So a lot of people tend to use black crystals, and a lot of people tend to choose hematite. But if I am completely honest, you just need you. You are who you are waiting for, okay? And don't let anyone else tell you any different, okay? You should be your own best friend. You are going to be the longest relationship you have with yourself, okay? And in all honesty, the magnet, the hematite, it is all a tool. Without you, without your intention, that tool would not work, okay? So I will just use my intention. That's how I've done it. But others do feel that they need an extra tool, and that is absolutely fine. You do what is comfortable for you, okay? So what I will do is, once I am ready, so back in my head, thinking about that image, all you do is you place your hand in front of your third eye, you rub it over your main meridian, saying, I release you. That is it. So I'll do it again quietly. I release you. And then check. Do I still have a blocked emotion in relation to abandonment? No. If you do still have a blockage, okay, I want you to double check. Is it still in relation to what I've just unblocked? Yes. If it is, then what you do is you go back into that, and you've got to go deeper. I'm sorry, but it'll be better once it's done. And you release it. The only reason I am bringing this up right now is because there was one of my recent ones, and for one other person, they had 5 different blockages per emotion for different people and different events in their life. Okay, so this is why it's always good to check that you have definitely unblocked that emotion, and it's not in relation to what you've tried to unblock, or it's not in relation to anything else. So you can clear it all, and then once you've got that, do I have a blocked emotion in abandonment? No, you can move on to the next. Okay, so this might be a good time for you to sit there, stop this video, or watch to the end if you want to, go through the form and do it all, okay? If you find that you were unable to intuitively know what the blocked emotion was, then one thing that we can do is use our newfound tool. There was a gentleman that I did some work with recently, and he was very unaware. He knew the emotion, but he was unaware of where it came from. So what we did was we used the tool. We went back and we asked, was it in relation to a person? And he said, we found the person, but he still wasn't aware. So is it in relation to my mum, my dad, my ex? You can ask all those questions to settle it down to whether it relates to a person, an event, or a place. But once we'd associated the person to this emotion, he still was really unaware of what it related to. So we actually used it by going back. What age were you? Did it happen last year, the year before? And we kept going back 10 years ago, 11 years ago, until we got how long ago it had happened. And then we worked out his age, and the moment we did that, he was like, I know exactly what it is. So if your intuition isn't helping to guide you, you can use this tool to find what the issue is, to help you ensure that you can clear it, and to make sure that you can move on from it. So just remember, if you're unsure, use your newfound tool.
Hello and welcome to A Soul in the Multiverse, and this is a little video I have done because I keep getting asked the question, why am I doing a lot of these healings for free, or why am I making it so easily accessible for you to be able to do for free? So if you know me personally, you will know that I have completed a lot of healings at healing circles with my friends, with my family, and with anyone that crosses my path, really. I very rarely charge. The reason for that is because if you've crossed my path, that's for a reason. Now, I have set it up that I will be taking payment for this, but that is just because I'm opening it up to such a broader range of people, and also, it does take a lot of time, and if you watch any of my videos, you might know I actually always sleep for 12 hours after one of these spiritual teachings. Although I'm not doing the healing for you as an empath, as somebody that works in the quantum realm, I am able to pick up on a lot of your emotions and maybe make the experience a lot easier for you. So it takes a long time for me to process my energy out. So it's a really, really overwhelming thing. There's a massive energy exchange that will take place between the two of us. I will be able to understand you and all of this. So it's a very beautiful thing. But why do I give it out for free? Because obviously we're on the spiritual journey, and I believe that we're all energy. We are just really a beautiful tangle of vibrations. And the thing is, we've all come into this earth school, and it's kind of not how it should be, is the best way or the quickest way I can describe it. And because of that, we've kind of come in here with amnesia as to who we are. We are a soul in a body. Our body and our mind is the prison of our soul. And the journey is the journey back to self. And basically, we're just a beautiful tangle of vibrations. And if you go into the work of Esther Hicks, she's amazing. She's really helped me out the past 6 months. But somebody that I have a lot of admiration for is Dr. David Hawkins. He has a couple of books out there, Power versus Force, How to Transcend Up the Levels of Human Consciousness, and several other titles. But he is one of the only science people or scientists who spent his time or his career trying to quantify human emotions to a vibrational level, and he succeeded. You might have even seen the chart. I've got a very detailed one on here. I would recommend the book. He goes into it into much, much more detail. So the reason I do it for free is every time that you heal, you are going to be going up that vibrational ladder. And it doesn't matter even if you just step up that vibrational ladder for a bit. Your body's going to be like, oh, I liked that feeling. So you will strive to get back up there. And even if it takes you, a few weeks, few months, few years, it doesn't matter. That jump is a jump up. And why is it so important? So you may have seen one of my posts if you follow me on social media, but one of the things that is very interesting is, did you know that somebody that was resonating at the level of love, so we're looking at the level of like 400, 450, they can actually balance out the energy for, I think it's 750,000 people vibrating at a lower level than them. So if the world is going through a hard vibrational time, you are collectively and wonderfully raising up the vibration, or you are helping a certain collective of people to ensure that our vibration for the whole collective of the whole planet does not go down. So, raising up and going up these levels of acceptance through love, through to joy, to acceptance and to understanding is a really important part of our journey. And I truly believe removing these blockages, these emotional blockages, are going to help you take up, because you're not going to suddenly be going through your life, having a trigger, an emotion, suddenly completely responding in a way that is not you in this current day, but a version of you remember, causing you all round of issues and a whole load of things that you need to sort to distract you from your journey, which is your journey back to self, your journey to self-love, your journey to realization that you are always and always will be part of source, and to be able to rise up those levels of consciousness. And it's such a beautiful way once you understand that. I mean, I'll go into it briefly now, but I think I started reading the Celestine prophecy, which really kind of give you a world point of view. It's a very kind of easy read book, but I've gone back to it so many times because every time I read it, there's something else that pops up, and it also makes you understand our traumas and our control traumas. That's a very interesting subject. Might do a little video on that. So with the control traumas, it makes you understand what your parents were like, which makes you understand why you are the way that you are. Then it then talks about energy in a much deeper way than energy has been spoken about before. And then I kind of walked into the Dr. David Hawkins work, which actually started to really explain the vibrational levels of consciousness, of emotions. And being an empath, it was really intriguing to me, and I felt a deep resonance with it. And then following that, I went into the colour therapy, which again was me working with vibrations and understanding that light is a vibration, which then goes down to colour, which then goes down to a music note, which then goes down to a number, which then goes down to a flower, a tree. It's just so mind-bending how vibrations really is. That's when I keep saying we are a beautiful tangle of vibrations. And we are just a beautiful tangle of vibrations done this beautiful dance, in this dance of our own awakening. And your whole life, which, by the way, was designed by you, is for the purpose of your awakening. So I really hope that you find some relief and release through all of these practices that are going to be shown to you, and you keep at it. And you keep raising your vibration and you keep helping people. This is what I mean. The more you help yourself, the more you help others. The more you work on yourself, it's a gift you give to others. Love and light to all of you. And I can't wait to see us all just thriving, smiling, enjoying life, and wanting everybody to win. Because we all want something slightly different. We've all come here for something. So take care, everyone. Speak soon.